So what's the difference between the South African refugees coming here and everyone else coming here looking for the American dream and a better life? Really, what's the difference? I think it's the color of my eyes.
Everybody's talking about the South African Afrikaners moving to America as refugees, but to be honest, just give them like a week tops, maybe 2 weeks. They're going to come over to America and they're going to realize, Jesus, it is expensive over here, and my money is not as long as I thought it was. And then they're going to get really mad because they're going to be broke over here and they're going to see black faces doing better than them than they ever will be in America.
You know what just pissed me off? I was like, let me dig deeper, because I'm like, why are they bringing the South Africans over here? Because I just made a post and I was like, why are they bringing them over here? Why do they need to come here? They're saying they need refugees. Why? You know what they're coming over here for? Because they feel that they're being targeted due to their race and ownership of land. That they feel that they're a target because of the way that their government is structured. They're claiming that they face systematic judgment due to the black economy, due to the black economic empowerment. This is what has been saying in the U.S. in America for centuries, and y'all gonna bring over them because they're not getting treated right by the blacks over there in South Africa? You got to be kidding. Y'all got to be kidding me. Y'all better open up your eyes. Trump is playing in our face. Trump is playing in our face. There is no way that they just allowed a whole bunch of South Africans to come over here because they're being discriminated against because of their race and because y'all, they're playing in our face. They're playing in our. Y'all go ahead and Google why the refugees came over and sought refuge in the United States. Go ahead, look it up and come back.
So I just saw that the Trump administration just brought in a group of white South African refugees. And look, I want to be very clear. I don't have a problem with that. If people are in danger, if they're facing legitimate persecution, I'm glad we can offer them safety. That's what a decent country should do. But what I do have a problem with is the hypocrisy. Because this same administration that just rolled out the red carpet for 59 white Afrikaners is the same one turning away brown and black immigrants fleeing violence, war, and political collapse. They're shutting down the refugee pipeline for Haitians, Venezuelans, Central Americans, Sudanese families, people who are just running for their lives. But suddenly, when it's a group that looks a little more familiar, the border opens up, the taxpayer dollars flow, and the compassion kicks in. Let's just call it what it is, selective empathy. Because don't forget, Donald Trump shut down the entire refugee resettlement program in his first 100 days. People who had already been vetted and approved were left stranded. But somehow this group makes it through. I don't think that's a coincidence. That's a policy choice. So, yeah, I'm happy these 59 people are safe. I wish them peace and healing. But I really wish that we would give a damn when the people knocking on the door weren't white, because compassion should not come with the skin tone requirement.
South Africans are saying only 49 Afrikaner refugees on the first flight to America. Only 49, it's so few. But remember, in 2022, Charlize Theron reported that there were actually only about 44 Afrikaans speakers left in the world, which means they've actually gone up from 44 to 49. They found 5 more. That's an 11% population increase. In just 3 years, the Afrikaner population has exploded. Well done, guys.
The Afrikaans that are fleeing to America as refugees, that ain't gonna work. I moved to South Africa. Let me tell you, I had met these people. When I came here, I had no idea these kind of people even existed on the earth. I felt like I was in a time warp taking me back to the 1800s. Let me tell you why it's not going to work in America. First of all, America judges you by what you look like. Okay, that goes for everybody. How you dress, your swag, how you carry yourself, how you speak, how you behave. They're going to fail every single one of those tests. Fashion is not really a thing here. It's not like commercial fashion in South Africa. People wear anything. They don't care really too much about how their hair looks, how they're dressed. It doesn't matter. And that's kind of a great thing. It's not pretentious. You can take your wig off, you know what I mean, and just chill. There is fashion, but the fashion is really more like the South African, the true authentic cultural fashion. Now that's lit. But like anything else is just like, meh, it's so generic, right? So these people, they don't really dress very nicely. They just honestly look like they came out of like, I mean, off of a farm, honestly. Like they don't even try. So that's going to fail a lot. It's people are going to judge you based on what you look like. Welcome to Babylon. You're about to find out how people will judge you. White people will look at you up and down and be like, and X you out based on how you're dressed, looking at your shoes, your hair. Like they're so backwards in their mentality about how they feel about black people that they're just backwards in everything else too. So there's no swag. Even when they think they're dressing nice, it's just like,
When I say certain people have the complexion for protection, this is what I mean. These are the white South African refugees that are coming to the United States after Elon Musk lied and spread misinformation on Twitter, saying that these white South Africans were experiencing G-side by the political party in charge. Here's the timeline of events. On July 31st, 2023, Elon Musk tweets they are openly pushing for G-side of white people in South Africa. Then he tags the president of South Africa and says, "Why do you say nothing?" So as you can see, Elon Musk has been fueling this fire and spreading this misinformation for years now. Fast forward, Elon Musk spends $300 million getting Donald Trump elected. Donald Trump wins. And the first day in office, January 20th, 2025, when he gets inaugurated, Trump signs an executive order ending the refugee admissions program. An executive order that basically says the United States lacks the ability to absorb large number of migrants, and in particular, refugees, because of the availability of resources for Americans. Essentially declaring that the refugees coming to the United States were competing for resources against Americans. Elon Musk then uses the power of being in Trump's ear all the time and up his ass and turns Trump against South Africa. Even though the claims of white G-side are ruled not real by a South African court, literally 4 days later signs an executive order called Addressing Egregious Actions in the Republic of South Africa, where he cuts off all funding to South Africa. Then he fast-tracks white South African citizenship while rejecting all other refugees. Here's where the story gets better. Here's where I say that they had the complexion for protection, because these white South Africans are descendants of mainly Dutch and French colonial settlers who first came to South Africa more than 300 years ago. They were at the heart of the apartheid government that systematically oppressed non-whites. Yeah, they're the ones who get to come here on an air-conditioned plane, walking through the airport, welcome to the United States, given flags for a photo op. Meanwhile, the Afghan refugees who helped the U.S. military during the U.S. military operations in Afghanistan are in dangerous limbo after the Trump administration ordered a pause on the refugee resettlement program. Meanwhile, this is how Black Haitian immigrants are welcomed to the United States. Meanwhile, other refugee populations that are non-white, this is how they come to the United States. I'm not saying that gotta look like their story or look like they struggled, but there's a clear differentiation between people who have valid concerns, valid refugee claims, and seeking asylum versus these motherfuckers that are coming in shorts and look like they're well fed and look like they have good clothes on their backs. And if you really want to deconstruct all the hypocrisy all the way, why is it that the reason that the U.S. refugee resettlement program was scrapped was because the refugees were competing for resources against Americans, yet the literal website that's helping them resettle into the United States is openly saying that these white South Africans are going to receive financial assistance, a one-time federal grant, $1,275 per person, cash assistance, supplemental nutrition assistance program, food assistance, food stamps, housing assistance, medical assistance, work and employment support. And to top it all off, they won't have to even prove that they were being persecuted. The complexion for protection.
I'm on a mission to learn everything I can about these Afrikaner refugees. And I'm so deep in South African TikTok right now that I actually know what car guards from Brakpan means, because that's the type of refugee that we got. We got Brakpan Afrikaners. And for Americans, I hear that the proper way to greet them is to say Futsekwena, which means peace among worlds.
The devil works hard, but Elon must work harder. I got on TikTok yesterday and I saw a bunch of videos of people saying how we are supposed to receive a bunch of new Afrikaans. I hope I'm saying it right. But a bunch of white people who are in Africa are coming in as refugees. So I was like, hold on. Let me open the comment section and see what's happening. I opened the comment sections. A bunch of white Africans, as well as South Africans, they are in the comments saying, what are y'all talking about? Refugees. These people are not refugees. They are not experiencing any racism in South Africa, because that's what the story is. That's what the Trump administration is saying, is that these people that are coming to America, they're flying in tonight, they're coming in tomorrow. They're saying that they are fleeing South Africa because they are experiencing racism from the black Africans there. When I tell you 2025 is 2025ing, because I don't have any other words. So we're about to have a bunch of Elon Musk coming in here. But I do want them to know that this ain't no South Africa. So y'all gonna be learning a whole lot of new things. I'm just gonna leave it as that.
To all the South Africans that are getting ready to immigrate legally as refugees to the United States of America, let me just address a few things so you understand where you're coming to and how life works in the United States, just so that you can rest assured that the fears that you do have will be overcome by the joys of what America has to offer. For example, when I moved here, we earned $15 an hour. That's what I earned, $15 an hour. I managed to purchase my first house while having $15 an hour. We did rent for many months. We rented in a lovely suburb in Texas. We managed to purchase a car by going to the bank, and you'll notice the banks don't have 3-4 inch bulletproof glass in them. You actually sit down and talk to the other human being and have an open conversation. You show them what you earn and they give you a loan, and you start building yourself up. And I've even built myself up that I've managed to acquire a farm, acquire a couple of vehicles, acquire my own house, and really progressing forward. So even if you come to the United States, don't worry about all these people that are saying, oh, you're going to be truck drivers and you're going to work hard. Don't worry about them, because many of the leftists, the liberals in South Africa, are like crabs. If you put two of them in a bucket and one crab gets out, the other one just pulls them back in. So disregard them. Come over to the United States and feel what it feels like to live in a country where you don't have a 10-foot fence keeping lions out, which I mean by criminals and murderers and rapists. You have the freedom of speech. You have the freedom to call the police and the police actually come. You have the freedom to apply for any job, that you're not going to be discriminated against according to the color of your skin. You can go into any field of work that you want. I wanted to be in the agricultural and golf segment, and now I'm a superintendent of a golf course, and I run a beautiful 150-acre farm. I work hard and I earn hard. So life is really good in the United States of America, especially under President Donald Trump. The world is your oyster. So you come here, you fly the American flag, you speak your native language, you speak English, your children will go to great schools where they get educated, they don't get picked on because of the color of their white skin. You can go to the bank, you can start a business, you can truly thrive in America. America is truly the land of the free, and it is the land of milk and honey. So it does feel different. Earning dollars and speaking to people who earn dollars, and they respect you, they love you. The church community in America is phenomenal. The hunger for God is real. And yes, we do have democratic cities, but you can just look at the state of the cities and you will understand what's wrong with them. They're led by communists and socialists, and they are falling apart, yes. But us here in the South, we are thriving. If you're looking for a job, I have positions open. The people around me have positions open. All you have to do is be yourself, show up on time, and be respectable. Luckily, that comes very easily as a South African. we show up on time, we work hard, and we earn hard, like I like to say. So for all of you who are coming over from South Africa in the second wave to embrace the American dream, get ready for it, because everything you put your heart to, you will and can achieve, because this is the land of the free and it is the land of milk and honey. If you put your mind to a business and you have a dream, you can come to America and you can earn that dream by hard work and trusting the Lord God Almighty.
So listen, before I go to sleep, I need to tell you guys this, okay? So I chatted with someone from South Africa who is Afrikaner today, and who is going to be applying to come to the United States. And she was trying to explain her plight because she was seeing that a lot of people do not want Afrikaners over here as refugees. Okay, now I'm gonna strictly say that they don't want Afrikaners. We don't want Afrikaners over here as refugees with refugee status. Okay, so she continues to explain herself, and she does not mention anything about genocide. She doesn't mention anything about someone taking her land from her. She doesn't mention any of that as to the reason why she plans on coming to America with her children. This is the reason that she gave, which is not a qualification for a refugee status. Okay, she said that she couldn't find a job. Not only did she say she couldn't find a job, but she said she couldn't find a job because of her race. She believes she couldn't find a job because of her race. And she also believed that her children did not have a future in South Africa. That doesn't qualify to be a refugee. That honestly does not qualify. Do you know how many people in the United States of America can't find work? Do you know how many people just lost their jobs in the United States of America because of this administration? I mean, do they have refugee status? Can they fly anywhere and be like, oh, okay, well then, give me food, clothing, shelter, and everything, and your government needs to pay for it because we're refugees because we can't find a job here in the United States of America. Now, I'm not gonna lie. She was like, I don't have anything against my people in South Africa, nor do I, and I'm not racist. I'm just Afrikaner, and I just want to find a job. But I said, but you're not a refugee, not because not because you can't find a job. Simply because you can't find a job, you think you're a refugee? If that's the case, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't make you a refugee. She said nothing about any of the quote unquote genocide, any of the oh my gosh, all she said was she couldn't find a job. That's it. And the White House is allowing this.
A lot of reactions there, some in support, some against that whole idea. But in all honesty though, someone in higher grounds has pulled some strings in order to bring these white South Africans or Africans to America. In all honesty, I have not heard of any genocide or any war happening in South Africa. Well, what's the definition of a refugee? A refugee is someone basically displaced because of things like, war, civil war, or maybe just general war. Like for instance, what is happening right now in Democratic Republic of Congo, that would make sense, like getting refugees from there or where there is real-time war, but in South Africa, man, it's just rumors all over. Like it's not like that something like that is happening, like they want to get land away from them, but these people actually have a lot of land and no one is threatening like to commit a genocide or whatever they say. There's no genocide, bro. Like there is nothing like that. It's privilege, man, and it's so double standards. It seems like favoritism, because how can you deport a group of people and then bring another group of people who have some link up, like in association, like, you know what I mean? You definitely, you know what I mean. Like, just why? We know a certain classification of people being deported and a certain classification of people being brought in. Like, it doesn't make sense, bro. But in order to understand all this, you have to go and watch this episode done by Reggie Yates. That time he did a documentary for Vice News, where he went to South Africa and actually lived the life of these white South Africans, the Netherlands people, right? So basically what they're facing right now is repercussions from what their ancestors did, like, mistreating Africans. And in all honesty though, it's not fair when you look at it like the modern time, but also it's like all actions have consequences, and it seems like they're facing the consequences, which is, I'm not saying it's right, but it seems like that is what they're experiencing right now. It has now become a reverse of what was happening in the previous years, where now these people are living in parks, or they're camping in parks, and they're just living miserable lives. Like, I understand like the idea of bringing them to the United States because of the quality of life they're living in South Africa, but these are not refugees. If you are bringing them, bring them as workers, but not as refugee status, because that is not it. You're seeing people being deported who are legitimate refugees, but these guys are not refugees. Like, let's just be real. Anyways guys, I don't know what you guys do think about this whole issue. Let me know what you do think in the comment section down there below. Do you think they qualify for the refugee status, and do you think they will receive a warm reception by the American people? Give me your thoughts in the comment section down there below. Otherwise, let me see you in the next one. Peace out.